Good morning, everyone. My name is Anil Zondi, your MathFit grade 11 teacher. Before we start again, run rules, right? Please videos off. And if you have questions, feel free to raise your hand. And if I ask you questions, just write your answers on the chat. That will be good enough. And lastly, also invite your friends by sharing or by notifying them about the newsletter from us so that we can give them the correct access details so that they can access our Zoom classes. Okay, let's continue. Okay, we're obviously looking at maps for this week, and today we're looking at elevation maps, right? We've done street maps, we've done national, provincial maps, right? We've done strip map. We're now looking at elevation maps, right? So obviously, when you think of elevation, think of actually think of something that is elevated, right? Elevated is something that goes up. So okay, let's say this is you. Just making an example. Going over a hill, right? From the side, this is what I'll see, right? From the side, this is what I'll see. So I'll actually see a profile of you going up and down a hill, right? But what you'll actually see yourself basically walking through a certain pathway, right? But this is what I'll see from this view. It's almost like a side view of a road. So when I talk of elevation map, that's what I'm talking about, right? For example, Comrade Marathon road. So that can be seen from the side, right? To see where's the uphill, where the downhills, where the peaks, and so on. So keywords, elevation map. Okay, elevation map shows a profile of a route as seen from the side, right? Profile of a route as seen from the side, as I've shown you in my previous example. It is also called a profile map. So another name for an elevation map is a profile map. Okay. Okay, here are some other keywords that you need to know for this section. Altitude, right? Altitude is basically the vertical height, either in meters or in feet, above sea level. The keyword, it is above sea level, right? And then a peak, this will be the highest point in the journey. Right? For example, if this was you, this will be your peak, right? So this will be your peak. For example, highest part of the journey. And an uphill, basically, this is a portion of a route with a steep upward. Okay, for example, this portion here will be classified as an uphill because it is a steep upward slope. Basically, this is an uphill. Maybe you're mountain hiking or something. And then lastly, a downhill. This is a portion of the route with a steep downward or downwards gradient. So in this example, this will be your downhill, right? So downhill. Okay. Okay. Keep in mind when I say distance, I'm talking about how many kilometers or miles have you, if you're running, have you ran or have you walked if you're walking, right? So on my profile, it will be on the horizontal axis, right? So this will be your distance, and my distance, depending on what type of map I'm using, right? It will be in miles or kilometers. I can just use kilometers for this illustration, right? Obviously, it's starting as 0, it's a race, and ending somewhere. And then, okay, the vertical right axis, right? This will be your altitude or height, altitude or height above sea level, right? And I can use feet or I can use meters. Okay, obviously, only if you are along the coast, you will start at around 0 altitude. Most races, if races are inland, obviously don't start at 0, because this will be 0 meters, right? Maybe 1,100 meters, 200 meters, and so on. Here, okay, 0 should be there. You can actually have 1 0, and then it's 10 Ks, 20 Ks, 30 Ks, 40 Ks, and so on, right? So keep this in mind when looking at or when dealing with profile or elevation maps. Okay. Now that is explained, right? Now let us look at an example. Okay. Okay, this is from past paper. Okay. It says under the following questions, which are based on the elevation map of Kruger Park half marathon, right? So half marathon. So obviously, when you say half marathon, they don't mean you're running half the marathon. They basically mean these are short marathons, right? Remember, in South Africa, we have those long ultra marathons like the Comrade Marathon, and most other marathons are actually half marathons. Maybe they are between 20 and 30 kilometers long, right? Okay, so let's study your profile map. Okay, you can see on my x-axis or horizontal axis, I have numbers from 0 to 13, right? And these are in miles, right? These are in miles. So this will be the distance, right? That will be running, right? So the length of no matter the length or the distance of this marathon is 13 miles. Obviously, during this marathon, we are going up and down hills, right? So you're starting at about you're starting at that altitude above sea level, okay, which is about just above 200, maybe 250 or 260. Oh, this is 250, by the way, 250. Let's write it down. And as this way the marks are, if you analyze correctly, then you understand how to answer the question. 50. This is 150. It's above. Okay, you can see the highest peak is just below 400, right? Maybe 390, approximately, right? You can see the lowest is there, just above 150, maybe it's 170, approximately, right? So first understand that before you answer your questions, right? So let's carry on. Okay, here are the questions. Okay, the first question says, between which 2 miles is the greatest uphill part of the race, right? Between which 2 miles is the greatest uphill? Remember, there may be an uphills. When they say greatest, they basically mean the steepest, right? In this case. Okay. Okay. Which is the steepest uphill, right? Steepest uphill, right? In this map, between which 2 miles? So just give me your answer on the chat to see whether you're following, right? Between which 2 miles? Between 1 or 2, or between 1, 2 and 3, and so on, is the steepest uphill. I'm giving you a couple of seconds for this one, right? Because it's easy, right? Okay, I'm getting your answer. Okay. Getting some of my answers are in feet, some of my answers are in miles, right? Okay. Getting 2 answers so far. Okay, now let's see. I have number of learners, right? Okay, between which two? I'm getting 350 to 400. I'm getting to 7, 8 to 9. So a whole range of answers, right? Guys, just before I continue, just please encourage your friend to subscribe to our newsletter so that you can give them access to our Zoom classes. Okay, let's see who is correct, right? Let's go back to the question. Question says, between which 2 miles? So the answer must be in miles. Right? The answer must be in miles. So your answer will be along your x-axis, basically. So one of these, right? Values, right? Between one of these values. Okay, so if you said feet, 350, 250, unfortunately you're incorrect, right? So steepest, right? We're looking for an uphill. An uphill is where we are going. Remember, you're starting this side, right? So an uphill will be, this is an example of an uphill, right? A small uphill there. Okay, there's another longish uphill, right? Basically, this is a downhill. If you're going up, it's called an uphill, right? Okay, my answer will be actually between 6 and 7, right? Between 6 and 7. Right, you can see that just after 6 miles, this very steep hill begins, right? Till around about 7 miles. So the correct answer is 6 to 7, right? So well done to some of you, right? Some of you got this one correct, right? Jared, let me give credit to Jared as this one was, he got, or she got, I don't know, he or she got this one correctly. Okay, well done. Okay, next question. Okay, based on the graph, do you think the runners start at the same place as they finished, right? Do you think the runners start at the same place as they finish, right? That's the question. Do you think they start at the same place as they finish? Okay. Do you think they start at the same place as they finish, right? Okay, answer is yes or no, right? Okay, this one could be tricky, right? This one could be tricky. Do you think they start at the same place as they finish? Okay, I'm getting answers. Some are saying no, right? Do you think the runners are starting the same place as they finish? Okay, I am getting 2 answers already. Okay, okay, this is tricky. The reason why I'm saying that is because here the altitude is okay, it's not the same, right? Here it is below this one here, right? Remember, sometimes you can run and come back to your starting place, right? So in this case, this is not the case because the altitude is not the same. Here it's close to 250, right? Here it is close to 200, right? So it's not the same, right? Remember, the altitude basically tells us how far you are above sea level, right? So the correct answer is no, right? The correct answer is no. Those who said no, I will agree with them, right? Right. Okay. So the correct answer for this one, okay, is no, right? The latitude, okay, the altitude, only the latitude is the same. Okay, here it's actually not. Here it's, the altitude is not really the same. Here it's just above. Here just below 250. Here just above 200. Right? So they did not start at the same place. Okay. Let's continue. Next question. Okay. Bruce says, The range of elevation is 215 feet, right? Underline 215 feet. Josiah says the range of elevation is 175, right? Okay, use approximate calculations to prove which person is correct, right? So who is correct, right? Basically, for this question, I want to know what is the range of elevation, right? For this map. What is the range of elevation for this map, right? Here, the clue is the range. Okay, let me not give you the clue, right? Because you've done range before. What is the range for this map, right? Approximately, right? Approximately, what is the range for this map? Okay, giving you a couple of seconds. What is the range for the? Just give me the answer only on your chat. Give me the answer only on your chat, right? Okay. While you're thinking about it, let me just give you a formula. Range will be the highest point, right? Maximum height above sea level minus the minimum height sea level, right? Minus the minimum height above sea level. Okay, for okay, what is the maximum height, right? Maximum height around approximately, it's obviously less than 400, right? So let's just say it's 390, approximately 390 feet, approximately, right? Subtract the minimum. For this, the minimum is somewhere there. So this will be our minimum. You can see this is 100, 150, 200. So maybe this could be maybe 170, right? It could be 170. So 170 feet. Remember, these are just approximate values, roughly, right? So your answer may not be exactly my answer. So my calculator, my answer would be 390 less 170, right? So it's 220 feet, right? 220 feet. Okay. 220 feet. And let me see my answers. Okay. Both of you are correct. Priyanka and Bacon. Both of you are correct. The most correct value in this case will be 215, right? So approximately this value is actually correct, right? So in this case, Bruce will be correct, right? Because the range was 220, roughly 220. Okay. Next question. 3.1.4. Prove that the elevation map shows a half marathon if the half marathon is 21.1 kilometers, right? And 1 mile is 1,609,344. So basically the same proof that this marathon is a half marathon if a half marathon is equal to 21.1 kilometers, right? Prove that this marathon is approximately 21.1 kilometers, right? You can see from the start till the end, right? It is in miles, right? It's about maybe 13.1 mile. So in miles, it's about 13 or 13.1 mile, right? So prove that this is a half marathon. Prove that this is approximately equal to 21.1 kilometers, right? Do calculations to prove that this marathon is approximately 21.1 kilometers. Use this conversion here, right? Obviously, how would you do that, right? Okay, how would you do that? Okay, for this one, I actually need to know what are you doing with the 13,1, right? Are you dividing it or you're multiplying it by 1,609344? Are you multiplying this value by our factor or are you dividing it, right? Are you multiplying it or dividing it, right? Okay, while you're thinking about it, you actually, to go from miles to kilometers, right? You can see you're changing one, you're changing it to 1,609,344. Change from 1 to 1,6. It's only one way, you need to times, right? So in other words, you need to times this figure by 1,609,344. Okay, 344. Okay, if that's what you did, then you're on the right track, right? You're on the right track, right? Okay, remember this is an approximate figure, right? So here's my answer on number 4. Okay, 13,1, right, times this figure. Remember, I need to write this figure in total, in totality, right? All of these numbers must appear. So I get 21,082, which is approximately 21,1 kilometers, right? So this is what I was expecting from you guys, right? I think the first one is actually easy, right? I think the first one was actually easy. I don't think there are any questions based on question 3, right? So let's move on to the next question. Okay, this one is a bit blurry, right? But let us just read it together. The following is a profile. Remember, profile, the same as elevation, right? Of a half marathon of the two oceans, right? Remember, half marathons, they are maybe between 20 roughly and 30 kilometers. Those, we call those half marathons. Race which is held in Cape Town annually. Use the profile to answer the questions. Okay, let's look at the profile, right? The profile, okay, you can see on your vertical axis, right? This is your height above sea level, right? This is your height or altitude. This is okay. This is 36, right? This is 100. This is not clear. These are in meters, by the way. 150. There's 150 there, meters. And this line is for 200. I think 200 is clear, right? And then below, let me just use yellow. Then below we have 0. This is where we start our race. And then this line here, it's 5 kilometers, right? And then it's 10 kilometers, right? And this is 15 kilometers. So this is our distance, and our distance is in kilometers. Okay. I think so far so good. This is actually one of the easiest maps if you understand what you're reading. All right. Okay, now that you've analyzed, okay, lastly, this here is 49, by the way. This is 49. In other words, we're starting our race at 49 meters above sea level, right? Okay. And most of your marks, learners, will be obtained when you're analyzing what is given, right? Everything will be easier after that. Okay, first question. What is the distance to be completed for the half marathon, right? What is the distance to be completed for the half marathon? What is the distance to be completed for the half marathon, right? Give me your answer on your chat. What is the distance for this half marathon? Right? I'm giving you a couple of seconds, so write as fast as you can. Okay, I can see a number of learners, right? Maviega, I can see Jared, see. Okay, the correct answer in this case, okay, Priyanka is also giving the correct answer. The correct one in this case, learners, this is the correct answer. Let me just change colors to red. Okay, it's 21. The distance of this race is 21.1 kilometers, right? This is how long this half marathon is, right? 21.1 kilometers, right? Remember, when they say half marathon, they're not saying half the distance. They're saying the type of marathon where the distance is not as long as those ultra marathons like the Comrade Marathon, for example. So it's 21.1 kilometers, right? So this is correct. Okay, 21.1 kilometers, number one. Number two, at what height or altitude, right? They don't confuse the word altitude and latitude, right? Height is altitude above sea level. Do runners start this marathon? At what height or altitude do runners start this marathon? I'm giving you a couple of seconds again. At what altitude do runners start this marathon, right? At what altitude do runners start this marathon? Okay, the answers, I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, I'm getting a couple of answers and they're all the same, right? They're all the same. Fortunately, no one said zero, right? Okay, well done. Well done. All right, I can see four learners. I can see Gwanda, Priyanka, Maviega, Jared, right? All saying 49. And you're all correct, right? The altitude, which is the height, is 49, right? So well done, right? Number two. Let's put number three. Okay, what is the difference between the highest and the lowest point in the profile, right? What is the distance between the highest and the lowest point in the profile, right? What is the distance between the highest? Okay, for this one, I'm giving you a couple of seconds, right? Because it's longish, you need to calculate. Okay, by the way, this here is 200, right? And that is 35, in line with these lines here, right? These lines. This line is for the 100, this line is for 150, and this line is for 200, right? So what is the difference? In other words, what is the range, right? What is the range? What's the difference between the highest point and the lowest point of this marathon? Okay, getting a couple of answers as well. Okay, people are saying difference is okay, 164. I'm getting two answers, 164 and 165. Okay. I have a couple of answers, right? But there's 164 and 165. So who is correct? 164 or 165? Okay. Okay, I can see a lot of 164s. Okay. The difference or the range, in this case, I'll just say D for difference. I'll write my answer here. Will be the highest, right? Highest. At highest, you can see those are the peaks, right? The highest touches the 200 meter mark, right? Be 200 meters above sea level. Subtract the lowest, right? Okay, this is not the lowest, by the way. The lowest is this one here. So this will be your lowest. This lowest corresponds to 36. So minus 36 meters. Okay, 200 minus 36, right? Your answer will be, I think the answer is 164, I think. Right? So well done to all of you who said 164. Okay. Okay. Next question. With reference to the profile, mention any section that will be challenging to the runners, right? Give a reason for your answer. Okay. Okay, don't give me a reason because it may take some time, right? Okay, can give me a reason, right? But I want to know which section will be the most challenging for runners, right? Which section will be the most challenging for runners, right? Between approximately so many kilometers and so many kilometers, right? Which section will be the most challenging for runners, right? Which section will approximately be most challenging for runners? Okay. Okay, Bacon says between 10 kilometers and 15 kilometers, right? Okay. Any more answers? Any more answers? Okay. Okay, I can see obviously the most challenging, usually steep hills actually the most challenging, right? But here in this case, okay, here learners, I'm not looking for altitude, I'm looking for distance, right? I'm looking for distance, right? So from what I can gather, right, the most challenging, okay, I'm getting a couple of answers, right? Okay, here I'm looking for 2 points. I can see there from example from about 10 Ks, right, or 11 Ks from there, right, maybe to there. Okay, that will be, maybe this is maybe 11 Ks and maybe this is 13 Ks, right? So this will be challenging. Okay, not really not from 10 to 15 because after 13 it goes down as well, right? You can relax. So from 11 to 18, that should be correct. From about maybe this is 2 Ks, right? 2 Ks to 4 Ks approximately. This all will also be challenging because it's very, very steep. So obviously very, very hard to run uphill, right? So those two will actually be steepest, right? Steepest, okay? I think it's actually clear, right? Okay, let me ask you another question, right? Okay, indicate on the map between which two kilometers is the downhill found, right? Indicate between which 2 kilometers will you find that downhill, right? Between which 2 kilometers will you find maybe the longest downhills on the map, right? Between which 2 kilometers will you find the longest downhill on the map, right? Okay, basically, just in case you're still thinking, right? This is uphill, right? This is also an uphill, right? Downhill, there's a downhill, it's longish. So this is the downhill, and then another downhill will be, okay, this will start from there, okay, roughly to that point, right? So this is another downhill. Okay, so the longest downhill is between maybe 3Ks to 6Ks, right? So between 3Ks and 6Ks will be the longest downhill. Okay. Getting a number of answers. Okay, very, very good, right? Between about 3 and 6. Okay, and now because my lesson is actually over, right? Let me just give you a bonus question, right? My lesson for today was actually short, right? Let me give you a bonus question, right? Let me just erase everything. Bonus question. Okay. Okay, calculate, right? Calculate the rate of elevation, right? Between 10, between 10 and 13 kilometers, right? Between 10, that's 10, and roughly that's 13. What is the level of elevation, right? In other words, I want to know the gradient, right? Between 10 and 13, right? What is that? What is your rate of elevation, right? What is your rate of elevation, right? That means I need to know per kilometer, right? How many meters do you climb? Do you climb? How many? Okay, this one is very challenging. Meters. This will be the last question, by the way. Do you climb? This will be your question, by the way. Bonus question, right? Per kilometer, how many meters do you climb up, right? Per kilometer, how many meters do you climb up, right? Let me give you hints, right? This height, let's say it's approximately 200 meters, right? This height, okay, you can see it is go across. That is 49, maybe this is 60 meters. Okay. Now I want to know per kilometer, how many meters do you climb up? Basically, that's my question, right? For every kilometer you run, how many meters do you climb up, basically, right? Okay, this one is challenging. I don't know if you guys understand this question, right? But I basically want to know for every kilometer, how many meters do you climb up, right? We're looking at the steepest portion of the Two Oceans Marathon, right? Okay, for this one, we can see the difference between 10 and 13 is 3 kilometers, right? So 3 kilometers. So in 3 kilometers, you are climbing a distance of 200 minus 60. You're climbing a distance of, this distance about 200 minus 60, 200 minus 60. That will give you, I think, 140 meters, right? Right. If you climbed 140 meters, right, running 3Ks, right? How many meters do you climb per kilometer? That is my question, right? Okay. Okay. My answer should have been for per kilometer, right? Per kilometer actually equal to 140, which is what you climb up, meters divided by 3, right? 3 kilometers. So roughly per kilometer, your answer should have been 140 divided by 3, right? You climbed about 46, right? 66 meters every kilometer. Right? So that is very, very steep, by the way. Very, very steep. Okay. I got answers from you guys, right? And they're all correct. I got one from Jared, from Priyanka, and from Maviega, right? All of your answers are correct. So well done, learners, right? We're actually done for today's lesson. Okay, those are my answers, right? Okay, take home message, right? If there are no questions from you guys, take home message. Altitude, just keep this in mind. This is the height above sea level, so it's always the vertical height, right? Perpendicular to the sea level. Right? So maybe there's your sea, right? Okay, if you're staying, for example, in Durban, you'll be only a few meters away from the sea, right? So your altitude will be a few meters away from the sea. If you're staying like me in PMB, a couple of 100 meters above sea level, right? If you're staying in Joburg, maybe a couple of 1,000 meters, maybe 1,000, maybe 1,500 meters above sea level. I'm not quite sure. Johannesburg. So this would be your altitude, vertical height. In this case, could be meters or feet. And then your distance, number of kilometers, right, from the starting point. In this case, if we're talking about a race, right, the distance from the starting point will be in kilometers or in miles, right? Okay, we're done for today's lesson. For more resources, you can visit the Department of Education website. And tomorrow we'll be looking at residential, right, or housing estate maps, right? Residential or housing estate maps. Those will be the last of our maps, right? And then obviously for more information, right, you can visit our website, www.africateengigs.co.za. You can also catch us on social media, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Okay. Okay. Thank you very, very much. See you again tomorrow. Same place, same time. Okay. Bye.